Here it comes! Hey friends, Ernie here, and that was epic. 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 Holy crap. Here we are. Another day. And Bitcoin has not yet shit the bed. But it is sporting some what is called bellyache patterns, or tummy full patterns, or my gut has acid patterns. There are a lot of different pattern names for this particular pattern, but I'm pointing it out. It's a reversal pattern, in the same way that you reverse up some bad meat. And we're on the verge of a reversal. Now, I think that, as I said, this reversal may be two-pronged. The first initial prong to come down and trap those bears, only to spike up again and stop them out, and then come down again and deject them. Deject them! Because they don't have patience. Patience, in this case, certainly is a virtue. To have patience and confidence in what you're doing. Understanding that is the essence of a pump and dump. Now, this pump has been largely bigger than previous pumps. And it came in the absence of any kind of volatility. Kind of like the Big Bang, when there's little or no volatility, when there's little or no life, when there's little or no energy, emerges the most energy. Like a big bang. And that's what happened. Because even, looking at Google Trends, still no interest in Bitcoin. Sure, there's lots of news out there. I've followed it up. I've come on this show and I've read the news and I've been able to debunk or criticize ad infinitum just about every news story that is out there. Because all of them are just full of platitudes. We're thinking of doing this. Some guy said. Some guy's sister's brother's uncle said. No action. No action at all. Let's see what we have here. Now, I'm going to go to the charts and talk a little bit about this bellyache pattern. This is the bellyache pattern. Wrong time frame. We need to go into the daily. Let's see. Let's try. I don't know. Yeah. Well, this is more like the headache pattern. So this downtrend, this downness, is engulfing almost 2 full days of upness. That can't be a good sign. I wanted to point out to you a couple of charting services that I like. One is Tensor Charts, and Tensor Charts I believe has a lot of potential, but I'm saying this, you can take this back to David of Tensor Charts, the developer. I worked with him in the beginning, kind of giving him some advice on where he should be going, and he finally did go at least partially where I said to go, but it took him way too long, and he's concentrating on the wrong things now. And on top of that, he took the most valuable part that attracts people to his system, the volume profile, and took it off the free version. That was a big mistake. No one's going to be able to see the value of tensor charts without the volume profile. The pretty colors, all showing all the orders in heat maps, that's bullshit. Nobody cares. It's all fake. No one fucking cares about that, David. Nobody! They only care about volume profile and the footprint. Had you kept that up, I guarantee you. Now, you did one thing. You went for the futures. Did it a little late. I said you should have done it right from the beginning. And futures with volume profile would have been fucking killer! Anyways, there are a lot of other features in tensor charts that are worth their while. And so overall, I give it pretty good marks, and a job well done. Interesting interface. Everything's kind of available. Takes a little bit of getting used to. Untraditional, but he liked it, and that's the way he wanted to go. And so overall, I give it good marks, but suppressing the volume profile is a huge friggin' mistake for free users. You're not going to attract anybody that way. If the CME futures feed costs money, then get an investor. Put it out there. Give people free access to at least delayed futures with volume profile. You have to give away shit to get people interested. You have to show them real value. You could give away 70% of the value. People will pay for it if they think there's more behind the scenes. So tensor charts, one of the best features of tensor charts, which and he took that away from the free version too, was the trades counter, which basically counts or gives you a graphical representation of the flow of money in and out in any particular time frame or segment that you want. Excellent feature, but he took it away. Again, bad choice. Bad choice. And so I've had a hard time, sticking with this. And I'm saying this because I'm trying to help the guy. Trying to help him create a really valuable product. It's on the verge. Can blow it out of the water. So, tensor charts, I like it. I'm not getting paid to say that. The other charting app that I came across was this thing here called the Bitcoin Ticker. And I like it. It's good if you're like one of those people who is obsessive compulsive and needs to see every single fucking tick of Bitcoin. Not sure why, but some people do want to do that. They also want to see sales walls or sell walls and buy walls. I'm not sure why they want to see that either. They have some fucked up idea in their head that that's going to actually help their trading. It does have a good time and sales function. So I'll give it that. You can choose multiple time frames. I like that. It's very good. I'm showing the multiple time frames here. The 1 hour is pretty interesting. 10-minute. 10-minute if you're really sick. Lots of other good features in here. But quite frankly, without any kind of volumetric analysis in this, it's really not worth much. It's okay just to watch. You know, you can get into multiple exchanges: Coinbase, Kraken, Bitfinex, Bitstamp, Gemini. You could switch between them and see the difference and say, why is it so different? Why is it different across the exchanges? Why does that happen? It's just bullshit. More bullshit. I keep it on Coinbase. A lot of people are complaining about Coinbase and the new interface, that it's getting to be bullshit. And it's growing pains. They've gone away from simplicity. They're going to have a hard time keeping and maintaining new customers, or attracting and maintaining new customers. This is where everybody goes, you know? They always start out with something halfway decent, and then they try to make it better, thinking that they know more than the people. They don't even ask the people. What would make it better? What do you want? We don't give a fuck what you want. Take this! Frigtards! Alex says he has more cousins than the number of people in this stream. Yeah, there was a time when this went, well, before when I was the other trader of futures, before the channel got compromised, that I could open up a stream like this and get 200, 300, 400 people. No problem. But I'm coming back. Eventually it'll come back. I'm really not that concerned about it. Because my focus right now is down another area, down pattern cast. Pattern cast is the future. Pattern cast is where it's at for me. And that doesn't require me to do streams like this. I do streams like this because I find this Bitcoin phenomenon, the cryptocurrency phenomenon, relatively interesting, because it reflects this generation a great deal. Their collectivist attitude, their centralized planning attitude, their socialistic bullshit. That's what Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is money for socialists. Of course, some people would argue that, no, Ernie, you have it all wrong. It's like the ultimate capitalistic system. It's such bullshit. The only thing that would be ultimate capitalist is if I could hold it in my hand and use it. Okay, let's see what we have here. No one's saying anything useful on the comment section. Why is that? Trump 2020. Trump 2020. I'd have to put on this hat. But I'm told that when I put on that hat, people get all squishy and upset. Now, there's a question. Well, that's not a question. Carlo first says, got to admit cryptos are a good game. No, they're bullshit. It's okay to try to make a little money here and there, and I explain what I do with that. I make a little money here and there, and I buy toys. But, when you start thinking about its ultimate use, what it is there for, it is not ready for prime time by any means. Ernie, how many stock pattern cast alerts on average per month? How many stock? Well, it's a growing list right now. And currently, we had an email out. Hold on. And I shall show you. I'll show you all the symbols that we are alerting on and are scanning, but that list is going to expand dramatically. All right, here it is. All right, hold on. So far, these are all the things that we're currently scanning right now, but that list is growing. So for equities, we're doing Apple, Advanced Micro, Boeing, Bank of America, Dow Futures ETF, Google or Alphabet, Netflix, Nvidia, the Silver ETF, SLV, Tesla, Exxon Mobil. And that list is growing. We're going to add another one. And that other one was APD, because we did a show yesterday on the day before on helium. And that's a big story out there and has a very long history and very, very interesting, and a lot of great signals come out of APD. Check it out. On Forex, we trade all the major pairs: the Aussie, Euro, Pound, the Kiwi, the Canada dollar, the Swiss franc, the yen, the Mexican peso. And of course, with the futures, just about all of them, all the majors, including softs, agriculture, energy, metals, treasuries, and indexes. So they're all there. So we're putting out signals on all of these. As we automate more and more of pattern cast, there will be more and more signals. There will definitely be more equities. We also do we include in the futures all the micro futures as well, which includes most of the currencies, indexes, metals, and energy. So that's what we're doing with pattern cast. And we're, every day we have signals that come out. I'll give you an idea of today's signals that came out. Here are today's signals. Here's today's signals. So you can see we have three equities, 2 Forex, and 12 futures products that we sent signals out on today. Now, not all of them trigger. On average, between 25 and 35% of them trigger. Of those that trigger, about 66% of them reach or exceed the target that we set. And as you can see, there's a target, right? The exit is the target. And of those 65%, and of all of ones that trigger, 95% of them within a 4-day period, actually closer to 96% of them in a 4-day period, end up profitable. On average, they exceed that target that exit thing by over 215%. Those are remarkable numbers. And we've been doing that consistently, day in, day out, since we opened the doors on October 4th of last year. And in fact, we were doing it even before that when I first put it out as a test earlier that year, from January to May, I believe, where I put out about there were 92 trades or something like that. No, not 92. There was 60 trades and with a 92% win rate. And then that's what got people interested to start going into pattern cast. So, besides the AI and the system that we use, the pattern recognition, and it being so strong and reliable and consistent, the biggest benefit of the pattern cast service is our trade room. In our trade room, we guide people through the machinations of trading and we support many different platforms. We have some preferred platforms, but we support many. And we have a really nice community there. Of course, you can all join my Discord server on the public side, and then there's a private side that we call the Pattern Cast channel. And that's a huge value-added thing to the service. And in fact, we've let brokers go in there and they love it, and now they love it so much that they want to work with us and they want to support us. And that doesn't happen that often, where a broker comes in and says, yeah, we want to do work with you. So what that means is that we're 100% straight with everybody. We follow the guidelines to such an extent, and we never overpromise. We never say things that we can't back up. We never talk about platitudes or anything like that. We just give you the straight facts and great support. And that's what brokers love. So anyways, that's enough about Pattern Cast. Crypto Bacon says Tesla is a joke. There are other cars that are coming out that are electric. I think Jaguar just came out with an electric car. It's hard to say that it's a joke. They've done a lot of groundbreaking things, but their quality control, I will admit, is somewhat lacking. Why did Bitcoin blow up through 6K resistance all the way to 8,200? A short squeeze? No. Whales. It was the will of the whales. It was whale. That's what it was. It was whale that brought it up to 8,200 or 84, wherever it went up to. 100% whale will. And that's it. It is a pump and dump. That's where they thought that they can bring it up to. That's where they brought it up to. And now it will recede. Tesla is a socialist pump? I don't get that. Do you think Tesla is a $4 trillion stock in the next decade? And no, I think that there's going to be many other car companies coming out with competitive vehicles. And that's going to be tough. They're not going to be a $4 trillion car. They might be, a $500 billion company. What about Ripple? Not a valid as a user case. I really don't care about Ripple anymore. I've said my piece on Ripple. There's really nothing else to say. All right. Chuck A says Max Kaiser hasn't sold any of his $1 Bitcoins. Is he insane? Well, that is a question. Is Max Kaiser insane? Well, I'm no psychiatrist. I am no doctor, so I cannot make such a prognosis. But Max Kaiser is out there. There's no doubt about it. Big Z says, "Hey, Ernie." All right, I got to bring this over here so I can see it and make it a little bit bigger. I don't think the bottom is in as of yet, but if we go down 30 to 40% from the high that formed yesterday, okay, that's as good a guess as anybody else's. And you continue on to say, bounce back up above 8,500 to make the first higher high since 2017. Then I shall change my views. Until then, I'm still bearish. What's your thoughts on my thinking? Well, I've pretty much said the same thing. And I think it needs to reach 11.3 before I'm not bullish. I'm not bearish anymore. Hayseed, can Trump change our relationship with China? That's going to take some time. Of course, I said Hayseed, and my phone thinks I said Hey Siri. Go away, Siri. She replied, I hope we can still be friends. Can Uber pull a Facebook run? Are you interested in buying? Uber? Am I interested in buying Uber? No. I'll use Uber and Lyft. They're okay. Renee Frankie. Hey, Ernie, how about adding Uber and Deutsche Bank to the equities? Uber doesn't have enough history. We require at least 20 years of history on anything that we put on that list. And we require 20 years for pattern cast so that it can go back far enough to find enough or have enough data to be able to come up with patterns that match. And match in a way that it's a little bit beyond our understanding, but it's something that pattern cast does. It just needs at least 20 years of data. Carlo Torino says, socialist pump that is protected with government money. Well, there's a good conspiracy theory. And Hayseed follows up with, how about IPO pins? Pin interest. Andrew Griffiths says, I have an E-Trade IRA. How can I utilize pattern cast? Well, you just take up pattern cast and trade it in your IRA. What other IRA service would you recommend? If you can trade futures, stocks, and Forex in your IRA, then you can trade everything in pattern cast. And there's no reason why you can't do that. We have several customers with IRAs that do that. You just need to talk to E-Trade and say, hey, I want to trade stocks, futures, and Forex. That's, pretty simple. But as I said yesterday, pattern cast is growing. Right now we've got about 100 customers. We're growing because of this relationship that we're starting with a introducing broker, one of the biggest brokers in the country. Once we start doing that, we're sort of gearing up for that right now. And when that happens, the price will go up. So if you want to lock in, we're guaranteeing everybody that if you get into pattern cast now, you'll lock in that price, period. We can guarantee that we'll lock it in with the yearly. We can guarantee with the monthly price, we'll guarantee it for a few months. That comes down to your commitment. Well, a few months? No, I'll guarantee it for a year. If you get into the monthly price, I'll guarantee it for a year. Or you buy the yearly and it's guaranteed forever. Is that the best way to do it? I'll think about that. Anyone who has Alexa in their home deserves zero privacy. Oh, that was kind of out of the blue there, Sam. I don't have Alexa. That's Siri on my phone, on my iPhone. Watch. Hey, Siri, what's the temperature outside? getting warm. Well, you couldn't hear that. Let's put this down. Hey Siri, where is Donald Trump today?
The answer I found is White House.
He's in the White House. Good. What do you think of all those these crypto interest earning wallets like Celsius Network? You can earn up to 7.5% on our crypto, 6.4% on Bitcoin. I'm not sure how they do that. That sounds like a Ponzi scheme. 6.4% per annum or per month? If it's per month, it's bullshit. And I think most of those are per month. Well, let's look that up. You're saying the Celsius Network. We need to look that up. Crypto lending. Are these yearly interest rates or monthly? Yeah, I guess they're yearly. Well, that sounds interesting. I'm not sure exactly how they go about doing that. But I'll look into it. Oh, by the way, if you remember, I said that, I had a little Bitcoin and Litecoin prior to this move up. When it moved up, right around 7,300, I cashed out. Moved it all over to, well, first, I used a good portion of it to buy some toys, including high-quality folding knives like this Osborne 940, carbon fiber shafts, and other goodies. And then I took the remainder of the cash and I put it into a poker site where I am now building it up. I am building it up because I am a great poker player. And you may have seen one of my previous poker tournaments that I won. It's in one of the videos here, if you go back and look at it. And once I've built it up and Bitcoin has come down, I'll then move all that cash back into Bitcoin and Litecoin. And then I'll wait for that next and do the whole thing over again. Just keep on multiplying my money. I am my own bank. Don't rely on the talking heads to give you guidance, or worse yet, social media. Well, thank you for that advice, Teddy K. And Crypto Bacon wants to know, don't you recommend like $10K for an initial investment in PatternCast? Initially we were, but now with the introduction of micro futures, it is now possible to trade almost all the signals with either micro contracts or small shares. And there's no doubt that you can easily take advantage of PatternCast with a $5,000 or even a $4,000 account. Getting much lower than that, then you have to make some compromises. Do you have to? No, yeah, I would say with a few $1,000s you could trade PatternCast. Before I said at least 10,000, maybe even higher, but with now that we have all these micro futures contracts, we also have micro Forex, and of course with stocks you can trade any number of shares that you want. And so now it is possible to trade the full complement of signals with a few exceptions. There might be 2 or 3 futures contracts that don't have micro contracts that I wouldn't recommend trading with PatternCast. But other than that, virtually everything can be traded, that big list that I showed earlier. Could you link the embodiment to link a watch list without manually adding stocks? I'm not sure I understand your English there, Renee. Maybe you can restate that. Could I link the embodiment to link a watch list without manually adding stocks? I'm not sure exactly what that means, but there's a lot of work that goes into scanning any individual stock. It needs to be set up and loaded and so forth, and then automated. So it's not like it's just we just link up a bunch of stocks and then do it. And the stocks need to have a certain amount of history, so we have to do that research too to make sure they have the proper history or the proper amount of history. Sam says the guy who developed Siri is a big-time liberal that converted to Islam. Well, good for him. And Chuck A says something that was held for review. Let's find out what Chuck A said. Why is the list of shitcoins... This is really upsetting. Because you said shitcoins, that was held for review. What the... I mean, is this like the thought police now? Fuck. I'm surprised that YouTube doesn't bleep out when I spread out expletives. You need to be able to watch prices through the day, not a set and forget system, and got to manage your stops. Not easy. Is this what Gladiator? Pattern cast is a commitment of your time. Well, for some people, I'm able to spend minimal time. I set up all my trades the night before and then monitor them. But you're right that like any trading effort, you need to be able to... I mean, anybody that's going to promise you that trading is completely hands-off, they're fooling you. But I don't particularly look at what you're saying, Gladiator, as a deterrent. And to say it's not easy, that really depends on you. There are a lot of people that trade pattern cast that are newbie traders, and in the beginning it wasn't easy for them. And for those people, we recommended that they... I mean, it's a lot easier than trading your own strategy, for sure, because you don't even have to think about the strategy. All you have to think about is the execution. And so when you say it's not easy, sure, it's not easy. Trading's not easy. It's never easy trying to make money and manage your risk and so forth. But it's way easier than trying to come up with your own strategy and try to manage your execution. It takes all of that away from you. You don't even have to worry about it. It just gives you good signals that you just need to then execute on. So from that point of view, it is loads easier than traditional trading. The Celsius Network, Crypto Bacon says, is an asset-based lending platform. You have to have a minimum of $10K deposited to borrow on your crypto. At around 9%. 80% of the interest goes back to crypto holders, 6.4% on Bitcoin. Now, Renee is asking, okay, if you need to load the history, then it's a different story. I understand. Yeah. Yes, we need to load plenty of history. In general, our standard has been to have at least 20 years of solid stock history for us to scan any particular stock. And then, of course, you have to keep up to date with the live feed. Carlos says, good luck with your pet project. I would not call Patterncast a pet project. It is a serious business, making serious money for a lot of people. All right. So, anyways, we'll do a very, very quick volume profile analysis. We can see. Well, this is a day chart. We don't have that much data in here to bring in, but at least according to this, let's see if we can bring in a little bit more data. And so as you can see, we've stepped the ladder up here on these various volume nodes, and we're up here right now with a great deal of resistance right around the 8300 area. If we bring in more data, we can see right here very clearly that 8300 is a huge wall of resistance right here from the volume node. Right there. Right there. And then the next level is around 11.4, 11.5. It really needs to get beyond there for us to have any hope at further bullishness. Now I can see, quite frankly, I can see us falling into this range here between 6,000 and 8,500 for a while. Only to then drop down below here again into this range that we experienced for most of 2019. So that's what I expect. I expect that we will probably come back to the bottom of this range, maybe hang out here for a little bit, but this sharp move up, this parabolic move here, I think is going to, it's possible that it might have one more leg in it, but I don't think so. I think it's going to move down, come up with a secondary move, and then come back down to this 6,500 to 6,300, 6,000 range, and then slowly degrade back down. Maybe do that for the next year. That is my analysis. And I think that it's a good analysis. I've been pretty spot on with everything, since the summer of 2017. So I think I got a good handle on this stuff. Teddy K, do you play poker online only? If not in person, then you are not as good a poker player as you thought. Maybe using your little knife as a card protector may help. Let me ask you, Teddy, are you just a dickhead? What is your problem? Most of the poker stars that you see on TV came from online. I guess Tesla is a 20-year history exception. Yes, it is. But we don't put out Tesla signals too often. It is an exception. You're right. It is an exception. Thank you for pointing that out. How long has Tesla been around? Look, I'm just telling you what my partner says. He goes, if we're going to add something new like this one here, APD, we'd like it to have 20 years of data. Maybe it's the futures that he's talking about with the equities. I'll ask him. Audrey, how you doing, Audrey? How much knowledge of trading do you need to have to understand how to use your AI trade setups? It's not. Well, most people have there are two areas of knowledge that you have. You have the analytical side, then you have the execution side. With PatternCast, we take care of the analytical side for you. So then all you really need is the execution side. And the execution side requires knowledge of the platform that you're using, as well as some basic money management skills. So we're really taking away or handling what is typically an equal or greater effort for most traders, and that's that analytical side. And then you just have to worry about that execution side. Now, the execution side really is not difficult once people get over some of their old habits and become more mechanized, systematic. And PatternCast, on the analytical side, is designed that way to give you enough trades so that you don't fall in love with any one trade. You just take them, and once they go away, they're away, they're gone. Boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom. It's like a factory. It's like a trading factory. Shaxter. We've only just finished the denial phase of the Bitcoin market cycle. Capitulation is coming. It's going to get messy. Well, that's a good point. I haven't really broke it down like that yet. I think some people felt that those different phases of denial were all encapsulated back in 2018. But you may be right. It may be extending out to here. Robert Leonardo, how you doing? If that's the case, Shaxter, then Bitcoin 1000 is still in play, albeit months away yet, possibly. Shaxter says $200 that's the biggest area of buyer support. Interesting. Wow, there's some real bears here, man. I'd love to play online poker, but I think it's illegal in most states. I don't think so. I mean, you can get online and play it. I play Bravado. I've played America's Card Room. I've played a couple of others. So I think that you can get into it. Audrey says, I have no habits yet, so I'm good. Well, those are the best type of traders, are the people that have no baggage that they have to shed. They make the best traders, at least in the beginning. Then it really comes down to sort of refining your craft there, and just divorcing yourself of the emotion, and which is not the easiest thing to do. But when the trades are small, and if you can trade small, that's the only thing that really brings emotion into it. When you start trading large and then start hanging on every trade, wondering whether or not you're going to be able to pay your bills on that trade. That's the crazy way to trade. But if you trade a bunch of trades and trade them really small, then the execution part becomes easy. And then you can sleep at night and you can just make money and not let the fear interfere with that execution. Pattern cast sounds as effective as a Game of Thrones dragon. I have absolutely no idea what that means because I've never watched Game of Thrones, not once, not more than a single minute. Well, maybe if you count commercials. So I really have no idea what you're talking about there. But here's Bitcoin. It's this candle here. If this maintains right now, this is a very bearish candle. Very bearish candle indeed. Make that a little bit bigger so people can see it. We have a very bearish. This is a daily chart of Bitcoin. We have a very bearish candle setting up right now. We need a really good push up and have an inside day with yesterday's candle in order for that to be not so bearish. But right now, and particularly if it closes below yesterday's low, then I would say that is an extremely, extremely bearish sign. All right. Now I've spent enough time, almost up to an hour, and you know that I don't like to go over that hour. I want to thank everybody for joining me today. We will be doing this more regularly, and I leave you with epic. Also, go check out some of the other videos that I've been producing with my partner on various asset classes, and you're going to start seeing some extra content coming in there that will be kind of interesting. See y'all later.